ṣoge, mọ̀rìn rẹ̀ bí ẹni ẹ̀gbẹ́ ń dùn, máa tún ṣọpá kẹ́ńgẹ́. Èmi láńgẹ́lì ọwọ́ Olódùmarè ló mọ̀ mí. Ẹgbẹ́ mi, mo fi gbogbo ara ṣẹwà, ẹlẹ́dàá mo dúpẹ́. Kò sáṣìṣe níṣẹ̀dá mi, ẹ bá mi yọ̀. Obìnrin ni mí, obìnrin ni mí, máa rí máa ṣoge, máa rìn bẹ̀rẹ̀ bí ẹni ẹ̀gbẹ́ ń dùn, máa tún ṣọpá kẹ́ńgẹ́. Èmi lolùrànlọ́wọ́ ọkọ èmi, Ẹlẹ́dùmarè ló mọ̀ mí. Ẹgbẹ́ mi, mo fi gbogbo ara ṣẹwà, ẹlẹ́dàá mo dúpẹ́. Kò sáṣìṣe níṣẹ̀dá mi, ẹ bá mi yọ̀. Mo yí tòsí tó dá mi lábọ̀, ìtura mo jẹ́ fáyé. Adéṣẹwà gan ni mí, ló fi mí ṣe mo dúpẹ́. Èmi náà lolùtọ́jú, ẹ bá mi yọ̀. Máyìn bẹ̀rẹ̀ bí ẹni ẹ̀gbẹ́ ń dùn, máa tún ṣapá kẹ́ńgẹ́. Èmi lolùrànlọ́wọ́ ọkọ èmi, Ẹlẹ́dùmarè ló mọ̀ mí. Èmi nìyá àkọ́mọ́ ẹgbẹ́. Gbogbo ara ṣẹwà, ẹlẹ́dàá mo dúpẹ́. Kò sáṣìṣe níṣẹ̀dá mi, ẹ bá mi yọ̀. Yes, it's another edition. A moment with Anikeade. Bella Gold, good afternoon. Thank you for joining. Mi ò ní fẹ́ lo mi ṣera mi. Èmi ni, owó ò lè ra mí o, owó ò lè ra mí o, owó ò lè ra mí o, ẹ má sọ pé tèmi báwo. Ìkẹ́ ló tọ́ sí mi, ẹ̀dùn ẹ̀yìn mo jẹ́ o. Yes, I am a woman. Our program today talks about women empowerment. Who is a woman? How do we empower ourselves? That's what we are here to know. Èmi láńgẹ́lì ọmọ Ẹlẹ́dùmarè ló mọ̀ mí. Mommy, good afternoon, ma. You're welcome. Thank you for joining, ma. Ẹlẹ́dàá mo dúpẹ́. Kò sáṣìṣe níṣẹ̀dá mi, ẹ bá mi yọ̀. There's no mistake in God bringing me to this life. You're a woman, I'm a woman. We are no mistakes in this world. But we have our ways to empower the world too, and we want to know that this afternoon. Àti rẹ̀ sí. Inú mi ló pamọ́. The song is talking about women. It's talking about how important we are in this life. Brother Kano Imole, good afternoon. You're welcome. Thank you for joining. Sister Opeoluwa Mojisola MJ, thank you, sis. Thank you for watching always. Thank you. May God bless you. Mi ò kí ń ṣàtẹ̀mẹ́rẹ̀, èmi ò kí ń ṣàtẹ̀mẹ́rẹ̀, èmi obìnrin. Mo pé lọ́lá, obìnrin ni mí, máa rí máa ṣoge. Ọkọ èmi, my sister Sister Abdulkarim, you're welcome. Thank you for joining. Ẹgbẹ́ mi, mo fi gbogbo ara ṣẹwà, ẹlẹ́dàá mo dúpẹ́, kò sáṣìṣe níṣẹ̀dá àwa ẹ bá wáyọ̀. Wow. Good afternoon, everybody, my loved ones. Hello to everyone, those that are watching me and those of you that are still going to join. Like you all know, I always love to give thanks to the Almighty God. The God who made you and I available today, who gave us this life. Ọba tí ó jẹ́ ká tún pàdé lénìí láyọ̀ àti àlàáfíà tí àfẹnìkankan ṣàwátì láàrin wa. This eye wey una dey take look me no go blind o, and me always no go deaf. I give praises to Almighty God. Like I said again, I always love to thank my God because it's not easy. I'm not a perfect being. You are also not a perfect being, but we are still alive and we give God. I still remain Anikeade, wúrà ọlá, ọmọ dáadáa, ara ọ̀dọ̀ ara àṣẹrí. Iṣẹ́ rí ó sún ọmọ akẹ̀sán. Bá a ṣe ń pè mí láyé bẹ́ẹ̀ ni mò ń rọ́ kẹ̀kẹ́ lọ́rùn. Gbogbo yín náà délé mọ̀ pé èmi ni ọmọ òwòdù dúró diná. Today we have another topic on the edition Moments with Anikeade. I greet everyone a happy new month and a happy new week, since it's a new day, a new week in Monday that we are starting. I hope we are all going to have a good news throughout this week in Jesus' name, and also this month. My topic again goes with women empowerment. What do I mean by women empowerment? How can we gain total love from our men? That I'm talking about those of us that are married and those that are about getting married. Some of us are not married, but we are on the way trying to get married, and we are doing some necessary things we think is good. And some of us are married, and I think things that we should be doing as a woman in the house. How do we empower our men, our husbands or fiancé or boyfriend? Firstly, I would like to talk about who a woman is. I would like to define what a woman is. It's possible, I mean, if I ask the question now from anybody, we possibly might say a woman is just a figure eight size shape who's got breast and the ass and everything to entice men. That is not what a woman is, because even the Bible classifies us to be a good person. A woman, to my own understanding, is an adult female human being. Someone who will be able to be with you regardless of how unable or able you are. It means that some men, or probably children, would be in this world and may not be able to do some certain things, not because they do not want to do them, but for life's problems and circumstances, they may not be able to fulfill all the things they are supposed to do in life. And a woman is there to support. A woman is there to be available. Either you are unable, either you are an elder sister, or you are a grandmother, or you are a mother, or you are an aunt. That is the work of a woman. Like I said before, a woman is an adult female human being. Someone who will be able to be with you regardless of how unable or able you are. She is an hardworking, respectful, considerate, smart, dedicated to the role she has to play. She is to have a great sense of responsibilities. This is what I mean. A woman are like an addition to every man on this earth. Like we all know, men cannot be alone, neither could we. Daddy Evangelist Adekome, thank you, sir, for joining. Welcome. Good afternoon, Daddy. Thank you for joining, sir. We are always here to help one another. That is what is in every man's life. Now, what do I mean by empowerment? Empowerment means a process of becoming stronger. That is for a woman to become stronger, because the topic is a woman empowerment. And I've defined, I'm talking about empowerment. Empowerment is a process of becoming stronger and more confident, especially in controlling one's life and claiming one's rights. As I don't know if this is a brother or a sister, Ope Rishebao Adams. Sorry if I don't pronounce that name well. Good afternoon and thank you for joining. Empowerment, like I said before, is a process of becoming stronger and more confident, especially in controlling one's life and claiming one's rights. This is for a woman to be more confident on herself, not depending on another person. Not always depending, always thinking that after all, I'm a woman, a man has to do this for me. A man has to do this all the time. It is a man that must do this for me. No. As a woman, we all have to empower ourselves. We all have to do one or two things to equip ourselves. Now, I've separated women and I've separated empowerment, different definition. But now I want to join them together. What a women empowerment means. It means we should understand already from the way I have explained what empowerment means and what women means. It's equipping oneself independently. Like I said before, empowerment means making you strong, process of you being stronger, not depending on another person, not depending on someone else. Now, women empowerment means equipping oneself independently to raise nations, being supportive to raise nations. And when I say nations, this includes a husband, a man, and children. When I say nations, it includes a man and children. You cannot raise yourself. You cannot raise a nation, all by yourself. Just saying you alone raising a nation is not possible. You would need to have a man beside you. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Daddy. You need to have a man beside you that you would have to raise. You would need to have a man beside you, and that man is going to be the help for you to have the children, and those children will be your nations, and that man alone will even start from being nation. Daddy me Ayeye. Thank you for joining, sir. Good afternoon, sir. You're welcome. Like I was saying, you have to empower yourself as a lady or as a woman. Firstly, we are all being ladies. Starting from if we are not yet married, we are still being called lady. But when you are married, you have become, then you will start to do things that a woman could do. But being a lady, you still have to empower yourself, because that is how it will start, small. It's not as if and if you're the type who doesn't have the grace to learn about having empowerment since you were little, at least if you get to being a lady, you should learn something. And when you become a woman, you should learn another. Like I said before, a woman is not just the figure of having the breast, the ass, you're beautiful and all that. That is not just what a woman consists of. We have several things that we are supposed to do. We should be beautiful in and out, not just in alone. Now, I want us to know the things that we should do that can gain more love from our men. Things that we should do to gain love from our men. Firstly, a woman should empower herself to support the household. Like I said before. What do I mean by empowering a man to support the household? Many of we women of these days would believe that, after all, my husband is my head. After he came to marry me, he's supposed to do everything I have. He's supposed to be the one to buy your panties, to buy your brassiere, to buy the old things in the house. Even the Bible does not tell us so. Even the Bible does not tell us so. We should have a work to do, something to use to support the household, not putting the whole load on the man, not making him think. If he goes to work, sometimes coming home would even be a problem. He might look at it that, oh, I'm going to that house again now. Oh, the wala, this woman will start asking for money. I'm asking for money. Brother Olabamidele Ajayi, good afternoon. Thank you for joining. Brother Sahid Olarewaju Ayomide Abidemi, you're all welcome. Good afternoon. Thank you for watching. Like I was saying, you shouldn't have to let all our men feel so heavy loaded because they got married. Because he married you, then you stopped buying yourself clothes. Because he married you, you stopped buying some certain things in the house. If it was your own house, if it was your own certain house, would you not have some things in your kitchen done? Would you not have some things in your wardrobe, in your room? You have it. I'm not saying your man should not buy you things. Our men will buy us, they will buy us things. The things we need, yes. But we don't have to always wait for them to do some of these things. You can even buy him clothes yourself. You can buy him clothes to surprise him when he doesn't even expect. We should have handwork. If we are going to be having children, for instance, you're having 4 children, and all you do is just to sit at home, and you're always at home playing songs or playing with the neighbors or talking. Newborn King, good afternoon. Thank you for joining. You're welcome. Auntie Bola, all the way from Dublin. Thank you, Ma. Thank you for always being there. Thank you for being supportive. May God bless you. Like I was saying, you don't have to always wait at home and be useless and don't have something doing. Don't. You're not the type. You are the type who is always sitting at home waiting for that man to come and drop his money all the time. He's going to get tired. He's going to get tired. He will get tired and move and leave and go away somehow. But if you are the type that always prays and always support him, if you are the type that supports all the time, if out of the 100% of the things you want to do, he was able to drop like 60 or how many percent, sometimes you can drop the 60 and he drops the 40 depending on your pockets. This is just understanding. And there are times that he can drop the 70 and you drop the 30. He can even drop the 80 most times and you join the 20, and you both can still make it 50-50 as well. You are helping your family. You are raising your home. You are not making him get tired. You are not making him get frustrated of getting married. That is what it means when we say that women should empower ourselves. We should get ourselves something doing. Don't just be a full housewife. Don't just be a full housewife. You're always indoor doing nothing other than just talking, and at the end of the day, their problems arises from here and there, and there will be no other solutions. Please, as women, I would love us to empower ourselves. If we haven't done, and if we don't have an idea of doing anything now, we can start. It's never too late. We can start up something. It is never too late. We can start now. We can empower ourselves. And the moment we are doing this, we are helping our husbands. We are raising a nation, because you're going to have children, not even one, with that husband. And doing that with your husband, you're making him happy, and you're giving him well rest assured that you are the best woman in town. And Brother Adams, you said, what advice would you give to women who disrespect and look down on their husbands because they are more opportune? Please, I'm coming to that side. Talking about the empowering, please, I hope I have been able to explain to us that women should have their own handworks too. Don't just sit at home and do not help your husband. When God created Adam, he knew that Adam could not alone stay in that garden. Adam was getting tired. He has created Adam for days, and Adam was there all alone. Before God had thought about giving Eve to Adam was not crazy. Our God is not stupid. He knows what he was doing before he created we women, for us to join, for us to help our men. We are to help each other. We are not to leave them to put all those loads on them. Talking about empowering, the book of Proverbs chapter 31 verse 10 through 31 tells us more about who a woman is. I repeat, Proverbs chapter 31 verse 10 through 31. Please, I would love us to go home and read much about that. I wouldn't like to take more of our times reading that. Proverbs 31 10 through 31. Like I was saying, the husband does not have to always put the loads on himself. Please help him out. He's going out to work in the morning. You also leave for work in the morning. Wake up and make him happy before he goes. And when he has gone, you also go for your work. Go for your work and come back as soon as possible. That you can help him. You can. It wouldn't be monthly when you want to buy the food stuffs at home and you go ask him, oh, we need. I think we need like 30,000 naira to buy the food stuffs, and the old 30,000 you're expecting him to drop it. Not having a very good job that brings out much money. That's not a problem. I mean, you both would understand, but do not always put all these loads on him. Try to help him look for a way to spend his money somehow. Don't let him feel like all the load is on him, and he is spending the money restlessly without you thinking that aranta. I mean, it will be very painful. It would not. It may not be showing it, and some of them will show it. But either it shows it or not, at least let's be reasonable as women. I want to use a woman in the Bible as an example. A woman, Abigail. A woman, Abigail. Yes, Abigail was beautiful but with brains. These days, many of us are just beautiful. Some of us do not want to have the brains. He has a husband named Nabal in the Bible, and you can find that in the book of 1 Samuel chapter 25, verses 2 through the end. Abigail was very beautiful, and Nabal was this always hungry type, hot-tempered man who doesn't have who doesn't calm down. David was the one taking ships all the time, and when the food ran out, he sent to Nabal that, please, you need to come and send us food and money, so we have to take care more of these sheep. I mean, I'm the shepherd, so I know what is going on. But Nabal, not being the calm type, he insulted them and shouted at the and when they got to David was so angry. Abigail, being a very wise woman and being a supportive type, who is not even thinking of her husband's attitude, went behind the husband's back and took lots of food and money to David and went to plead on her husband's behalf. That is an example of a wise woman in the Bible. At least she empowered herself. The husband did not even know. Sorry for the network. The husband does not even know that she had some money she can give to somebody. She went to give the money to David and pleaded on her husband's behalf. She pleaded on her husband's behalf without the husband knowing. David was already bringing his boys, his messengers, so that they will come and kill Nabal and be angry and finish the whole place. But with her wiseness, with the way she was wise, we all need that kind of being wise too. Sometimes our husbands do some funny things, they go wrong ways, but we have to help them. That is why we are there. We are not just a portrait. We are not just there like a picture. We are to help them solve some issues out. Fine, they are more braver than us, but there are some issues that they need us to also help them out. That is why we are there. So please, I endeavor us, if the Bible could talk about some wise women who could help their husbands in such kind of time, someone like Abigail, she gained the heart of David with that attitude. So please, that is number one. That is number one, for you to empower yourself and support the household. That was how she saved the husband from dying. Number two is be respectful. That's the question one brother Adams asked, that what do you do to women who do not respect their husband, and all because they are much more than the husband. They are more opportune to the husband. I will explain more on that. It's because they do not understand. Like I was saying, number two of these ways of us gaining more love is be respectful, submissive, considerate, be smart, and that would speak for your husband. What I mean by that would speak for your husband is, in the book of 1 Peter chapter 3 verse 1 through 7, the Bible tells us that a woman, even if a man talks outside, even if a man is doing something outside and people do not believe him, they find it difficult to believe his words or believe anything he's doing outside, the moment they see you, the wife, your attitude alone will speak for your husband. Your attitude can help your husband out of so many problems he's facing. Talking wisely, being respectful, being submissive. You should be submissive to the extent that maybe he's beating you and like a ram or a goat in the house, and you say, after all, they say we should be submissive. No, that's not what I'm saying. He will beat you so that you will die someday. You will not know. That's not what I'm saying. But if you have money, you are more opportune than your husband, or he is more opportune than you, be respectful, be submissive. The fact that God gave you money more than him does not, he only gave you that money because he needs you to help him out. His hands did not get to a certain stage for him to be higher. But if you are higher than him, you shouldn't use that as a cause to be over him, to pull your shoulders over him, that, look, Mr. Man, I'm the one taking care of the house. That is a very wrong idea. When I was still very little, I didn't know how my parents did pay our school fees then. I just knew that they do pay school fees. It was only when I grew up I got to know that there were times that my father did not have much to drop for the school fees. And my mom would have even covered that area. Nobody knows, not a child got to know what was in the house. It was when we grew up that they were explaining things between themselves, and we got to know that, okay, so you all had you both had some times that things were not moving well, and we never saw it on you. That's it on her. She would help the husband. And sometimes when the husband has more than that, he would be the one to help. There are times that you can even go pay some school fees even before he knows it. I'm not saying you should do this always. I'm not saying you should do it all the time. Brother Yodeji Oyekunle Alade, you're welcome. Good afternoon. Thank you for joining. I'm not saying you should be the one to do it always, but support him. Support him. He's the head of the house. The fact that you have that money now and you are being opportune to have more than him, your husband, does not mean that you should take that as an advantage to disrespect him. It tells us that they are the head. They are the head. The men are the head in this house. They are the head and we are them. They are the head and we are the neck. If your husband is the head and you are the neck, that means the two can still help each other. They are in good accordance. They are doing well. But if the head is no more there, the neck cannot stay alone. And if the neck is no more there, the head can also not stay alone. That means they both need each other to stand firm, to hold the family. So you having the money more than your man, I know that there are some men that even submissive, respective and all that. I've seen issues like that the man still does not appreciate the wife. It happens, but God knows best. I wouldn't be talking to that area. But if you as a woman, you have more than your husband, I beg you to please, don't forget you also have children. You have a son. You will have daughters that will grow up. They will grow up someday and they will have another family. And having families, if a boy does that to your wife, to your child, your daughter rather, or maybe your daughter does that to a son outside, or maybe the wife your son married is doing that, you wouldn't be happy about it. So do not do things that would bring karma back on you. Do not do things that you will regret later in life. Please, let's be very, very submissive to our husbands. Let's be submissive to our husbands. That, like I said before, talking about the book of Proverbs chapter 31 verse 10 through 31, we'll talk more and tell you more what a woman looks like, what a woman is, what the Bible tells us about a woman. If you read through that passage and you still are not wise, then I guess honestly, because reading that part alone, you will know what it means to be a woman. You have to support your husband. We don't have to always we don't have to always be over them. It's very wrong. We are being submissive because there are places we go wrong, and these men are the one to correct us, to tell us this thing you're doing is wrong, this one is right. But if you're not submissive, you will never get to learn where you are wrong or where you are right, because it won't tell you, since you are that type of person. May the good Lord uphold your household and perfect all that concerns. Amen. Amen. Thank you, sir. Brother Adams, thank you so much. Like I was saying, another woman's duty is for her to call her husband or probably your fiancé every morning, apart from mornings, but every morning when your man is about to leave the home, walk him out with prayers. While he's going to work, walk him out with prayers. while he's going to work. Do not be the type that always rain curses on him. Don't be the type that always calls him olórí burúkú, olóṣì, ó kúkú tí ń kó tiẹ̀ lọ, just like my Yoruba people will say. Olóṣì, ó tí ń kó, the unfortunate, you're going, just leave home and let me have peace. Have you forgotten that you are going to have children with this same man or maybe you already had children? And calling him olórí burúkú and olóṣì will definitely affect your children. His blood, your children carries his blood. You also are carrying some of his blood. You already are intimate with him. Your sex having is not just for your hearts are binding together. And calling him olórí burúkú and olóṣì would affect you as well. It would also affect you, it would affect the children. And the olórí burúkú will continue going on in the lives of the children, and you would think that it's a problem you're facing somewhere. That is very wrong. Please, let's be prayerful. Either when they are going out, be the prayerful type. Tell them to have a blessed day. Pray for them. When they are back from work, he must have been so tired. You also would have been tired. But as a woman, that is why you are there. You help him out with prayers when he's even back from work. Make him happy. Again type. When he comes and he's like, hey honey, oh please, excuse me. I had a tough day and I had to relax and all that. Who know they get tough day? All of us do have tough days, but there are ways we can go through these things. Thank you very much, ma. Thank you, ma. Thank you. You're also beautiful, ma. Thank you, ma. And you also said there are some men that can't stand their women being blessed than men. Yes, I would have loved to talk to that part, but because I'm only talking about women empowering their men today, that's why I don't want to talk to that side. Like I was saying, there are some men who are like that, truly. Just like our women does. That maybe some of the women who are more opportune than their husbands bring their shoulders up. Some men are also like that. When they see that their women are more than them, they get angry. They are so just like this, and they find every way to bring her down. We are not helping each other that way. We are not helping each other that way. We all know Kanye West that Kim Kardashian got married to. At least there was a year back when he was indebted of about $52 million. All the families and friends, everybody left him. Everybody left him. Kim had to create a Kimoji. She had to create a Kimoji, and people followed and used that Kimoji, and she raised a sum of about $80 billion. She raised about $80 million, and out of that money, she helped the that $52 million to the husband, and they have the remaining left. Today in the world, we all know Kanye more about $1.5 billion US. She stood by him. She didn't leave him alone. You can stand by your man too. Not every man is appreciative, I know. Not every man is appreciative. I know very good what I am saying. But we still have to stand by them. Those of us who's got good homes, let us support our men. That is most of the problems we have these days with some of our ladies. We are like, I beg, me, I don't want to come so far. It's either he has money or I'm not doing. So are you telling me you're going through a marriage that you don't even have a job of your own? You don't have something to, you've got plans. You have to have plans. You've got to have plans to solve yourself out. In case there are problems. That is what happens when some marriages crashes. You don't have some work to do. The man is always the one doing everything. He's always over the whole things in the house. And the moment he tells you to go, you are finished. You don't even have the money of your own. You don't have a job of your own. So how do you want to survive? Yet you have nations to raise. You have children to raise. So please, as women, let us always be prayerful. Like I was saying before, we should always be prayerful with our men. Either they are home or they have gone out. If they've gone out, be the prayerful type at home. If our mothers in those days were not all prayerful with their husbands, many of them would have lost their lives. They won't even give birth to us. And lastly, please, as a woman, ways that we can gain love from our husband and what we are discussing today. As a woman or as a lady, Don't say because you are now married after like 3 or 4 children, then you become an old woman. You now start tying wrapper everywhere in the house. You start tying wrapper, you start wearing only pants or skirts. That's holding the skirt. You pull it up to this place and you're walking around the house. Don't forget that your beauty was part of the reasons he first married you. Your beauty was part of the things he first married you. Don't look so old because you've given birth to 4 children. So at least look more beautiful. Look seductive every time. When he's going to work, look seductive. When he's coming back from work, look seductive. Let him see you that you are still he got married to, and you are better and more better than what you were before. Please, I urge us, we women. Some of us are married, like I said, and some of us are not married. But I say that these are the issues some of the homes are facing. You believe in your husband doing everything for you, and it is very wrong. Please, as a woman, let's empower ourselves. Ọkùnrin kan ò ní fi ẹ́ ṣàpọ̀jù tó bá ti rí pé ìwọ náà o lápá tó fi ń ṣiṣẹ́. You have your hands that you're working with them. Don't forget that you are the neck. Maybe I should speak it in an Indian way. Every woman had a neck, and the husbands had a head. If the head is not there, the neck too will fall. And if the neck is not there, the head will fall. Why can't we just understand this little trick? I don't want us to be bored anyways. That's why I tried that. Don't mind me. Like I was saying, I'm sure you understood what I said. So please, let us change our attitudes. Let us change this habit of my husband has to take care of everything at home. Support each other. That's why God brought us to this world. That's why we are here. That's why we are around them to help them. They can't do it alone. Hey, what's up, sis? How you doing? Been a while. Thank you for watching. Thank you for watching. Today's program, Moments with Anikeade, will not be more than this. We talked about how women can gain more love from their husbands. And for us, and for some of these women who we are more opportune than our husbands, please let's be submissive. Let's be submissive, be respectful. Respect him, respect his family. That is what can help you out as well. And I know God will stand by every one of us. To those of us that are still on the way of getting married, and so those that are married already, may God uphold our houses in Jesus' name. Thank you very much for always watching Anikeade. Thank you for always watching what this small but mighty girl has to say every Mondays on Facebook. My Facebook handle remains Anikeade Anawuraola. And my Instagram handle is Anikeade01, Anikeade_01. I really appreciate everyone who's been standing behind me for this program, who has never left me for one. God will always be with you all the time. Till we meet again next week, Monday, on Moments with Anikeade. I hope you all learned very well today. I hope you learned something different and new today. May God